Hello, everyone, and welcome once again. It's week two. It's week two, people, of fantasy football and real life NFL. I am JT, aka the Master, and you see behind me is For No Reason fantasy football. Got a great show in store for you today. I got a few things I want to cover besides starts and sits and sleepers for this weekend. I'm going to cover all the games, including Monday night, and we're going to go and see if we can get you a win, get you one step closer to the end of the season. Each win counts. I know there's more value on the later wins, but you accumulate wins early in the season. If anything happens at the end of the season, at least you have some wins that you can fall back on. So I always say it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And this is how we're going to roll. Okay, people. There's two things I want to cover today. One has to do with one of my leagues. One has to do with one of my leagues. Okay. And the other has to do with a single player. And it's going to shock people. It's going to shock people. Okay? Just remember what I said. It's going to shock people. All right? Let's go to the first thing I talked about. One of my leagues. Okay? Had a controversy that involved the commissioner. Okay? Some things went down. I'm not going to specifically say it. Don't need to. The league mates were all aware of it. Every one of them were all aware of it. Some of them chimed in. A lot of them chimed in. And it wasn't positive toward the commissioner. Okay. And it was warranted. It was definitely warranted. Now, I'm going to say this. As a commissioner, because I'm a commissioner of a league. So I'm speaking from experience. It's not like I'm just a part of a league and don't realize what a commissioner responsibilities are. But as a commissioner, you're supposed to be held to a higher standard. As a commissioner, you're supposed to be held to a higher standard. You must be your integrity and your transparency has to be the best. Because you're dealing with a certain amount of individuals, whether it's a 10, 12, 14 team league. Everybody has their own opinion. Everybody sees things differently. And you are in a sense, you are the moderator. You got to work through the mesh in order to keep chaos out and let organization and you being a commissioner having that know that integrity is within the league. Okay. And I have to say this. I'm being nice here. Okay. I'm being nice here. Because you got to understand something. Commissioner is supposed to be held to a higher standard. Okay. Commissioner is supposed to be held to a higher standard. Just like a president. You're a president of a league, in a sense. So a president has to be held to a higher standard. You can't be involved or what's perceived as shenanigans or favoritism. You can't do that. Okay? And some things went on, and majority of the league mates chimed in and said that it was not up to the standards that a commissioner should have. Okay? I'm just saying. I'm not calling any leagues out. I'm not calling any persons out. I'm just stating what I feel. Now, I've come short of calling somebody out, okay? Because I don't want to go that route. I'm not that type of person, okay? I don't call anybody a liar. I don't call anybody. I don't have trust issues. I trust everyone to be on the up and up. Okay. So, some people have trust issues. Okay. And I've told them about it. They got trust issues. I've been called a liar when I was trying to do a certain to do things, and I'm not like that. Okay, I'm not built that way. Not built that way. I don't have really a lot of trust issues. Okay. So when you see something that the whole league sees, and you don't see it for yourself, or you don't do the honorable thing, then your integrity is called into question. It's called into question. Okay? I'm going to say it like that. Your integrity is called into question. Okay? And what took place in this league was the benefit of the commissioner. And it was and the league members called him out. Okay? The honorable thing was to say, look, okay, you guys have a valid point. I'm going to put my ego aside. That's the problem. I'm going to put my ego aside and handle it like this. Okay? And everybody gets an even shot. Not take advantage of the situation and then after the fact change things and said, look, I changed things. Okay? That's to me. I say that's to me, that's underhanded. Okay. Like one league mate said, that was snakish. Okay. Hey, look, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. And it was, let me put it this way. This is the best way I can handle it. Yesterday was not the way it could have gone. And yesterday was not the way to go that route. Today, calmer heads and more reasonable heads, in my opinion, prevail. I'm listening. I'm at a loss of words. At a loss of words. I know for a fact. If it was anyone else, that person would be all over him. I'm just saying. I know for a fact. Okay, because I've seen it up close and personal. That's all I have to say. I'm not calling anybody out. I am not talking names. I am not talking what league. I'm just saying. Okay? I'm just saying. It wasn't right. There was ways to make it right, and it didn't go that way. Okay. Can't do nothing about it now. It's water under the bridge. But I guarantee all those league members will remember. Okay? They all will remember, including myself. All right, people. Let's get to the games. And one of the games, I'm going to tell you, this is hard. It's going to be hard for me, but I'm going to be totally transparent here, people. Totally transparent. I don't try to hide anything. For the most part, I don't try to hide anything in fantasy football. And this, when we get to it, it's going to be totally transparent. Okay. All right, let's get to the first game on 1 o'clock. The Las Vegas Raiders at the Baltimore Ravens. Okay. And I'll say this. Before I get to this, I'm sorry. Before I get to this, I just thought about this. A lot of these players didn't have a whole lot of playing time, if any, in the first game of the season. So, in essence, if you didn't play the first game of the season, if your regular play was the first game of the season and you didn't participate in any way in the regular season, in the preseason, then the first game in essence is your preseason, where you get live competition from another team. Okay? So a lot of these players, with the exception of one, I wouldn't say the one, but a lot of these players, I've always said this. I've said this on other shows. They take these games, if you didn't have a lot of playing time in preseason, as preseason games. 2, 3, maybe 4 weeks. In order to get in football shape, a lot of these players, and you had disappointing outcomes of players, okay? Of big name players. What you thought you were going to get, you didn't get. Your draft, you didn't get what you drafted. Okay. Let's look at the second, third, and fourth, and going on towards the end of the season. If that is proved or disproved. Let me put it that way. Proved or disproved that that the players are going to live up to where their draft capital. Okay, are they going to be first, second, third, fourth, and so on type of draftees, or are they going to bust? Okay, you may draft somebody in the first round, second round, third round, and so forth, thinking they're worth that, a first round pick or a second, third, whatever round pick, and they should perform accordingly. You can't judge that on the first game, okay? Can't, especially if they didn't play that much in the preseason. But I digress. Let me just go this way. We'll go to Las Vegas Raiders at the Baltimore Ravens. Okay, I'm going to go to the visiting team first, and then I'll go to the home team. Gardner Minshew against this defense playing at home, Baltimore. I'm not playing him. I'm not even playing him in a 2-quarterback league. Ain't no way. Not against this Baltimore Ravens defense that is looking to get a W after they got beat by the Kansas City Chiefs. Came up short. Are you kidding me? What are we talking about with Alexander Madison or Zamir White? Tale of two running backs, people. Tale of two running backs. One running back is just exactly that. He's a running back. The other one, Zamir White, is just a running back. He doesn't catch the ball that much. Alexander Madison is more versatile. He can run the football, and he's a pass catching back. If I'm not mistaken, Alexander Madison was close to the same amount of touches that Zamir White had. I can't play either one of these guys. Okay? You got two running backs, you got no running backs. There's always an exception, but this is not it. You got to play Devontae Adams. Who's going to miss you going to throw to? Brock Bowers? Okay, you can play Brock Bowers. Okay, he's a hyped up name that's a lot of people are on the train with. I would play Brock Bowers. You got a nice pass rush in the Baltimore Ravens. You got to get rid of the ball quickly at times. Brock Bowers is a nice outlet for Gardner Minshew, but I can't play Gardner Minshew. I can play Devontae Adams. Excuse me. I can play Devontae Adams. They know who the big dog is. I'm beating the Raiders. They know who the big dog is. So you got to throw the ball to Devontae Adams. I would play Devontae Adams. I would play him in the flex. I wouldn't play him as a wide receiver 1 or 2. I would play him in the flex. On the other side, where do I start and where do I finish? Okay. A lot of Derrick Henry fans, including myself, I own Derrick Henry. Believe it or not, I'm being totally transparent. I told you earlier in the season, didn't like before drafts, fantasy football draft, didn't like Derrick Henry. I have Derrick Henry in one league, and he disappointed me. Hopefully, that's just an outlier. Okay. Hopefully, that's just an outlier. Because I think on the at home, playing the Raiders, Derrick Henry is going to do his thing. Okay? It's one of the most runningest teams in the NFL. I'm talking about the Baltimore Ravens. Okay. Lamar is going to run. He probably won't have to run as much in this game as he did in Kansas City when they're trying to catch up. Okay. So I think they're going to have control of this game and rely on a run game, and that is Derrick Henry. Okay. Justice Hill, I know people were getting frustrated, including myself, seeing Justice Hill constantly in the game, catching footballs and doing other things. I don't think he's going to be that relevant this week. Okay. They used him. It had to do with game script last week against Kansas City, trying to play catch up. Okay. You play Zay Flowers. Okay. I'm not a big Zay Flowers fan, but I think this is one of the times that Derrick Henry and Zay Flowers are going to be useful. All those people who picked up Isaiah Lively, okay. I think you're going to be disappointed. Don't chase it. Don't chase the numbers. Don't chase the numbers. And I know people were saying this is a big waiver wire week for Isaiah Lively. I don't think so. I think this is a 2 tight end league and team, and I think that they and the game script dictated that the more athletic tight end, and not the favorite target for years for Lamar Jackson wasn't Mark Andrews. It was Isaiah Lively. I think he comes down to earth in his game, and I think it's going to be Mark Andrews. He probably said, Mark, this is going to be your week. Okay? This is going to be your week. I think that's what's going to take place in this. I can't see anything different. And if you have a quarterback, if you have a kicker position in your league, one of the best kickers, if not the best kicker, or one of the best kickers, I say that because there's some pretty good kickers out there now. Justin Tucker. You play Justin Tucker. So I got 4 guys that you need to play if you have one of them or a couple of them. Mark Andrews, Derrick Henry, Lamar Jackson, and last but not least, Justin Tucker, the kicker. Let's move on to the Los Angeles Chargers against the absolute pitiful LA Chargers. Like I said, some of these players didn't play or had limited play in the preseason. And J.K. Dobbins comes running out the gate, okay? Literally running out the gate. And I can't see it going any different. You know why? Carolina run defense is horrible. Horrible. And what type of team is the LA Chargers with Harbaugh? A running team. So they're going to run the football. And I think they don't need to score that much. They don't need to score that much because Carolina is horrible. Okay? You play J.J. Dobbins. You play Hayden Hurst, the tight end. You got Ladd McConkey, Quentin Johnson, and Josh Palmer. Josh Palmer is the veteran in the building. Ladd McConkey is a rookie. Quentin Johnson is a second-year player that didn't do much in the first year. And Joshua Palmer has been there for a few with Justin Herbert. Carolina's defense is better against the pass than it is against the run. That's a fact. Okay? So you play Hayden Hurst. Okay? You play J.K. Dobbins. And in a 2-quarterback league, you play Justin Herbert. Okay? On the other side, they're playing in Carolina. So Carolina hopefully will play better than they played in the first game. They're playing Carolina, in Carolina. I don't like any of these players, especially the quarterback, to do anything if that's fantasy relevant. I'm still, and when I showed you this before the season started, the strength of schedule for the wide receivers, Deontay Johnson, and I drafted him in a few leagues, is a player that has a very favorable strength of schedule. But if you're trying to make room for other players and you have Deontay Johnson on your roster and you have better options, you drop Deontay Johnson. You drop him. Okay? You can't just abandon a player. I just said, I've done this. I dropped Deontay Johnson, but I had better options. And he didn't improve anything at the beginning of the season. You know what? If I was to pick up a Carolina player, I'd pick up Xavier Leggett, the rookie. He had what, 8 targets? Okay. Hello. There may be a star coming around in Xavier Leggett. It won't be the first or last time a rookie wide receiver made some noise. All right. Well, let's move on to the next one here, which would be the New Orleans Saints at the Dallas Cowboys, who handled my Cleveland Browns something terrible. 33 plus, 33, well, I think it was 33 to 10, 33 to 17, something like that was the score last week. And Cleveland was playing at home. Okay. Is this one of the better defenses? I would say so. Okay. I would say so. Let's go to the quarterback of the Saints, who last week handled the team I just talked about, Carolina Panthers. Handled them. Division rivals. Thought it would be a closer game. It wasn't. They won by 37. I think I think Carolina is going to be one of the lowest scoring teams in the NFL. That means fantasy points are not going to be, well, I can say that. That means there's a possibility. I'll put it that way. There's a possibility of not many fantasy points coming out of Carolina. But we're talking about the New Orleans Saints and the Dallas Cowboys. Okay. Do I play Derek Carr off the performance he had last week? He's on the road. He's in a 2-quarterback league. I would play Derek Carr. 2-quarterback league. These are the guys I would play. And I'll name them off, not necessarily in this order, but Alvin Kamara is one of them. Rashid Shaheed is another one. Okay, big play wide receiver. I think Dallas can be had in a big play. Chris Olave, I think he's going to be short to medium pass catcher. He's going to get targeted enough. I think they're going to be playing from behind. So I think they're going to be trying to put the ball up as much as possible. Okay. And you play the Mr. Gadget, tight end. You know what? I like Jawan Johnson, but I don't think Jawan Johnson is going to have a big game today. Okay. I think it's going to be Taysom Hill. Not a big game. I think he gets his double digits. I think he gets targeted enough in the passing game and in the rushing that they give him double digits. Now, is that good for a tight end? Sure it is. That good for a quarterback? No. Just into the so you can use him in the tight end position, but in leagues that have him listed as a tight end, quarterback, or quarterback, tight end, yeah, you put him in that tight end position, and you're going to get numbers that would be equated to a quarterback. Not astronomical numbers, because this is a good defense, but good enough numbers that they'll accumulate decent for a tight end. On the other side of the ball, now, Dak Prescott got paid and showed why he got paid last week against a very good defense, and that defense is playing at home. Okay. Now he's got a second game with his wide receiver that didn't do much in the first game. He didn't have to. He didn't have to. Okay. So for all those that said, you only got a certain amount of points from CeeDee Lamb, okay. The defense and whatever else happened in the game, you didn't have to use him that much. So he got really eased into the first game of the season and got some experience because CeeDee Lamb came into camp late because of his contract. He didn't have to do a lot. These big-time players, as we go further into the season, without getting hurt, are going to give you big-time numbers. And I do believe CeeDee Lamb gives you big-time numbers, okay? And believe it or not, people, you can put him in the flex. Brandon Cooks, they're going to throw to Brandon Cooks because the attention is going to go to CeeDee Lamb, okay? Leaving Brandon Cooks, okay? Ferguson may not be Jake Ferguson, tight end, may not be there, okay? So, do I tell you go to Luke Schoonmaker? No. This time I'm stepping away from the tight end on the Dallas Cowboys, and this is who I want you to play with when you have them: Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, Brandon Cooks. I know people are going to say, "What about Zeke? What about him?" He's splitting time with Rico Dowdle. Okay. Okay. And your point is? I'm not. Zeke, second time around, is an older back, has slowed down a lot. And this is not one of those moments for Zeke, in my opinion. This is not one of those moments for Zeke. All right? So let's move on to the next game. This game should be very interesting. Very interesting. Because one team is very good in against the pass. Against the run, I'm sorry. And in fact, both of these teams are good against the run and not too good against the pass. That's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Detroit Lions. Now, Baker Mayfield. Okay. I've lambasted Baker Mayfield when he plays bad. Some people don't like it because I speak in the truth and what I see. I've said Baker Mayfield played well last week. He seemed like he played well last season in a new environment that takes advantage of what he can do and keeps him. I wouldn't keep him in the box, but has the tools to be successful. And I'll tell you this, and I've said this before, and I'll say it again. He's playing well, okay? When he hasn't played well, I've said it, okay? And not hating, I've said it. I'm not the only one that says it. I've said it when he plays bad, okay? Baker Mayfield should be played against the Detroit Lions defense, who's not that good against the pass. They're good, very good against the run, not that good against the pass, okay? So, play Baker Mayfield. I'm not a big fan this season of Rachaad White. I'm not a big fan of Rachaad White. I have reservations about playing Rachaad White against this defense. Okay. Play him, but lower your expectations. I'm going to put it that way. But don't lower your expectations with Mike Evans or Chris Godwin. Oh, yeah. Chris Godwin is back in the slot where he does his best work, where Baker loves throwing to him. Okay? So you play Baker, you play Mike Evans, and you play Chris Godwin, all three with confidence. Temper your expectations with Rachaad White. All right? Let's move over to the other side. He's playing at home. They're supposedly Super Bowl contenders. All right? They escaped a win in overtime. No, they escaped the win in overtime against the Rams last week, a formidable team. This is against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, okay? Another decent team, all right? So let's say this. You play Jared Goff at home. Absolutely. Jahmyr Gibbs, you play him. David Montgomery, damn right you play him. Who scored the winning touchdown? Who was the guy they went to in overtime down the field? David Montgomery. Absolutely, you play David Montgomery. Amon-Ra St. Brown was quiet last week. He won't be quiet along with Jameson Williams and Sam Laporta. That's a lot of people to feed. But in this game, I think Jared Goff can do it. Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jameson Williams, and Sam Laporta. Absolutely. Okay? Absolutely. All right, people. Let's move on to the next game, which should be another interesting game. Unfortunately, their starting quarterback will not be playing. I'm talking about the Indianapolis Colts and the Green Bay Packers. So now, I may be wrong. Well, I may be wrong about Anthony Richardson. Okay? And I'll be the first to say if I'm wrong about Anthony Richardson. He has some nice plays to Alec Pierce. Okay? Because he likes to get the ball downfield. Okay? So I see him doing that. You got to play Anthony Richardson because he can throw the ball and possibly hook up with someone downfield. And also, he's a hell of a runner. Okay? You play Jonathan Taylor. Now, Green Bay has a good secondary. They have a decent secondary with a pass rush. Are they going to be able? Is Indianapolis going to be able to rack up some fantasy points for the wide receivers and Michael Pittman Jr., Adonai Mitchell, or Alec Pierce? I mean, you got Michael Pittman Jr., and most people are going to play him. Okay, I can tell you to play him because he's supposed to be the number one wide receiver. Can't guarantee because I still say that he's not that accurate, meaning Anthony Richardson, that he's going to do it the second week in a row against this Green Bay secondary. You're getting the ball down to Alex Pierce or Adonai Mitchell. Can't say that's going to happen. Okay, let's move on to the Green Bay Packers. Now that without their starting quarterback, they have Malik Willis. Until he shows what he can do and be effective, you can't play Malik Willis. Come on, people. They're going to want to run the football and play keep away from the Indianapolis Colts. So he played Josh Jacobs. But I tell you this, their rookie backup, I think he's going to be fantasy relevant. You can't, I shouldn't say you can't, but you can. But it's only week 2. I got a funny feeling that Josh Jacobs won't last the whole game. Funny feeling. And then you're going to have their rookie running back, Braylon Allen, if I'm not mistaken, is his name, take over. Hopefully, it's a short-term injury if Josh Jacobs gets hurt. But I can't play any of these wide receivers because of Malik Willis. Hopefully, you have better options. I know Jalen Reed or Christian Watson and Romeo Doubs. You know who I can play? Because I think this will be effective. Would be the tight end. either Luke Musgrave or Tyler Kraft. One of them. Okay. But I can't guarantee that. I don't feel good about that. It's Malik Willis. He got traded to the Green Bay Packers for a reason from the Tennessee Titans. All right. Let's move on to now, people. I'm going to tell you this. Okay. I don't know who's watching. Doesn't make a difference. Doesn't make a difference. But I tell you this. This is a put up or shut up game. We got the Cleveland Browns at the Jacksonville Jaguars. This is a put up or shut up game for Deshaun Watson. I've been one of the most loyal Deshaun Watson fans that can speak of. Trust me when I say this. I have been one of the most loyal Deshaun Watson fan since he went to the Cleveland Browns. But brother, I watched that game against the Cowboys, and if it was anything, this is about a player that didn't play a lick in the preseason, got thrown basically to the wolves against a defense that had your number, and your number wasn't a high number. I think your QBR was like 9 or whatever, something stupid. This is a put up, shut up game. Fans are not going to stand for, and the coaching staff shouldn't stand for the type of play and the things that are happening on the field. I should say not happening on the field. Okay. You got to put up or shut up, brother, or you're going to be one of the highest paid bench players gone or released. Okay. Or released. With all the stuff that's going on, there's a possibility that he can be put off the books if things happen. So anyone who has Deshaun Watson as one of their quarterbacks, either in a 2-quarterback league or whatever, and got disappointed last week, you better look elsewhere. You better look elsewhere or make a plan A1, or whatever you want to call it, another plan. Because I'm not liking what I see at all. All right, I made excuses for him in the past. Ain't no more excuses, brother. Ain't no more excuses to be had. Ain't no more excuses to be had. You got to show up and show out. Otherwise, the fan base, and I'm probably saying that the coaching, the coaches, including the front office, Andrew Berry, you listening? I'm going to say, hey, we got to do something here because this is not working. This is not working. Okay? And it's time to cut your losses and move on. Okay? Plain and simple. Plain and simple. I keep it 100 people. 100. If you're playing well, I'm going to say it. If you're not playing well, I don't care who it is. If you're not playing well, you're not playing well. Plain and simple. This is a make or break game here. You got to show something. You know this team. You know this organization. I'm talking about the Jacksonville Jaguars. You know, you played against them when you were in Houston, Texas, multiple times each year. So there's no excuse. Okay, you got the defense, you got the offensive players, and no excuse. The only thing that's holding this team back is you. The only thing that's holding us back is you. Okay? Yeah, I'm passionate about it because I want my team to do well. And I can see the quarterback, just like Baker Mayfield was holding him back, just like Baker Mayfield was holding back, this quarterback is holding him back. Even worse. Even worse. Okay? You don't play Deshaun Watson. No way. Come on, man. Unless he shows something in this game, some put some little a light in at the end of the tunnel. Come on, man. You don't play him. You can't. You play Jerome Ford. I like this matchup against the Jaguars. They could be run on. You play Amari Cooper. You got to throw to somebody. Hopefully he gets the ball, not overhead, not in the dirt, not thrown to the other team. You play Amari Cooper, and you play the kicker. The kicker is very liable. I'm telling you that right now. Your kicker is very liable. You got to show something. Four, you got to show something. On the other side of the ball, they're playing home. Jacksonville is a schizophrenic team for the most part. They play better at home. Their defense plays better at home. Their offense plays better at home than they do on the road. You never know what you're going to get when they play on the road. They're at home. They play better at home. I know this team well. When I was a fan of the AFC South, Jacksonville's in the AFC South, right? I know this team very well, okay? Going up when I was a Houston, Texas fan, I know this team. I know it's a very good defense, but this defense doesn't play well on the road. And if the quarterback puts them in bad situations over and over again, they're going to look that much worse. I like Trevor Lawrence in this game. I know that Myles Garrett and company pass rush. They got very good DBs in the back end, Denzel Ward and company. I understand that. I like Trevor Lawrence in this game. I like Travis Etienne, Tank Bigsby. People, Tank Bigsby. If you have a roster spot for a running back, and you need one, Tank Bigsby. He split carries. He split opportunities with Travis Etienne. Listen to what Doug Peterson said earlier. He said, if you know what he said we're going to try to lighten the load on Travis. He got Travis Etienne. I mean, he got a lot of the workload last season, and we want to try to lighten the load. That's why Tank Bigsby has been getting a lot of play the first game of the season. Come on, man. If it looks, sounds, and walks like a duck, it must be a duck. Tank Bigsby. Okay. I can't play any of these wide receivers. I know Brian Thomas got in the end zone. I can't trust that every week. Okay. Evan Ingram played horribly. This is just a wait and see. I hate to say it. You may need to play him, but okay. I understand that. But to me, it's a wait and see. Running back, quarterback. And that's who I see playing here. All right, let's move on to the next game. This should be a very interesting game. Very interesting game. All right. Fantasy-wise. And I got to believe that San Francisco 49ers at the Minnesota Vikings, no CMC. I try to tell you people. I try to tell you. I said by week 10. I think I said about week 10. Okay. That CMC would be hurt. He didn't even start the season. Didn't even start the season. I said it was going to be a problem. He got tendonitis in the Achilles. You can't play with that. You can't play with that. He goes out there and that Achilles goes, end of the season. No more CMC. No more CMC. You got Jordan Mason. Now you know the San Francisco 49ers, how they go through running backs. You know the San Francisco 49ers, how they go through running backs. So what I'm saying is this. I know most people don't want to hear it. You got Jordan Mason as his backup that did a hell of a job the first week. And he's definitely playable this week. But 49er running backs, because of the use, have a tendency to get hurt. Have a tendency to get hurt because of their usage. You pick up Isaiah Guerrero, stash him on your bench. Just wait and see. You want that insurance? Get ahead of your league mates. Jump on them. I have, and I'm going to grab them as much as I can in other leagues, because Okay. To me, it's just a matter of time that a 49ers running back gets hurt. To me, just a matter of time. I hate to say it like that, but that is proven. It was an outlier last season when Christian McCaffrey had minor things happen to him. But come on, people. Come on. I broke it down to you about the 49ers last week or before the season started. Each one of these guys, Christian McCaffrey, Brandon Ayuk, Brock Purdy, and Deebo Samuel had career years, had really good years, and were healthy for the most part. Okay? And that's not going to happen every season. That's not going to happen. And already CMC is on IR, won't be playing for 4 weeks. 4 weeks, people. That's a quarter of your season. That's 4 games that you won't have CMC at least. Is it going to be 4 weeks going to be enough? Okay, you don't know. 4 weeks going to be enough. You know you don't have one of the best running backs in NFL and fantasy for 4 weeks. But it's 4 weeks. Is he going to be able to come back from that Achilles tendonitis and calf? He didn't play in the preseason. This is going to be the second game of the regular season. That's 6 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks, and he's still not there. Okay, so what's that telling you? You can't play with Achilles. Achilles ends running backs' careers. Ends running backs' careers, or they won't last long. I know you got J.K. Dobbins. He's or Deontay Foreman. Okay. How many other running backs up until that point? Come on. Achilles is not a good thing for a running back. Okay. Not the type of stress that they put on their legs, ankles, whatever, or Achilles. But you got to play Brock Purdy. You got to play Jordan Mason. You got to play Deebo Samuel and George Kittle and Brandon Ayuk. Second week back off a long layoff. Didn't think he was going to do too much. I'm talking about Brandon Ayuk. Okay, let's move on to Minnesota Vikings. Against the defense, going to be tough to play Sam Darnold. You got to play Aaron Jones because you think you want to run the football. Okay. You got to play Justin Jefferson because that's the man. I know they're going to try to stop him, but you can run on San Francisco. Passing is a different story with that pass rush. Okay. That's the only guys I like in the Minnesota Vikings. Let's move on to Seattle Seahawks against New England Patriots. New England Patriots have a good defense. I don't think they can score a lot of points, but they have a good defense. And good thing they have a good defense because they can't score that much. Let's go to Geno Smith. Geno's played the Patriots before against a good defense. I in a 2-quarterback league, I would play Geno. No Kenneth Walker. Zach Charbonnet. Here we go. He's a more versatile back. I'm not saying he's a better back than Kenneth Walker, but he's a more versatile back because he can catch the ball out of the backfield plus run it. You play Zach Charbonnet. DK Metcalf, absolutely. Absolutely. This is mainly a passing offense. All right. And they want to put the ball down the field. I know most people don't like him. I still like Jackson Smith-Njigba. Okay. I still like him. I think Tyler Lockett is iffy. Okay. And you know what? Most people don't say, come on, are you really going to play him? Yeah, I'm going to play him. In fact, I think I put him in one of my leagues because of Jake Ferguson is out. I'm going to this guy, Noah Fant. They don't really have a strong tight end core other than Noah Fant. And Geno, I say they're going to push the ball down the field. It's going to be more of a passing offense. I like Noah Fant. Okay. Short story, make it short, long story short. In one of my other leagues, I had a Jake Ferguson. Not Jake Ferguson. I had Dallas Goedert. No, I have Jake Ferguson. And I had a really strong inclination that he was going to play. So I moved Jake Ferguson out of the tight end position and put someone else in. But I had an option other than picking up another tight end of playing Jonnu Smith. I just had a feeling about Jonnu Smith. And this was, and I should have gone on my gut feeling. He didn't score a touchdown. Okay. But he got enough targets to get double digits. And that's good for a tight end. You get double digits for a tight end. That's good. And he got double digits. He got 11 in the league I was in. It's a PPR league. He got 11.5 points. Okay. That's good for a tight end. Every point counts. Let's go to the New England side of the ball. I don't think New England's going to score a lot of points. They didn't score a lot of points and beat Cincinnati. Did they get 16 points or something like that? Really? I can't play Jacoby Brissett. They're going to try to run the football. You got a head coach as a defensive-minded coach. You don't have really good wide receivers. You got second and first-year players, wide receivers. You run the football. You got to play Ramondre Stevenson because he can catch it and run the football. So that's the only guy I can see that will be fantasy viable. New York Jets, Tennessee Titans. At the Tennessee Titans. You play Aaron Rodgers, Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson, and yes, Allen Lazard. Aaron Rodgers, Allen Lazard know this offense very well with their time in Green Bay. Allen Lazard got double digits, a touchdown with Aaron Rodgers last week. I think it's going to happen again. You got a very tough defense in the Jets, and I cannot tell you to play any of these wide receivers. You got Sauce Gardner and the DB on the other side escapes me right now. But that's a great 1-2 punch against the pass. And you got a second-year player going up against the New York Jet defense. The only thing I can say is they're going to run the football. They're going to run the football. Tony Pollard, who I'm not really fond of, but he got the most touches. He's got the most work out of the two. Ty Spears, he may be an afterthought now. Tony Pollard did well this first week of the season. They're going to run him back again. All right? Let's move back down to another game. I'm running through these games really quick. It's the New York Football Giants against the division rival Washington Commanders. Washington has a suspect defense. Wan'Dale Robinson, Malik Neighbors. I don't like Daniel Jones. Never have, never will. And after this season, I don't think the New York Giants are going to like him either. I think he's history. Okay? But he's here now. I can't play him, but I can play the two pass catchers in Malik Neighbors and Wan'Dale Robinson. Absolutely. Devin Singletary, I don't think he's going to do too much in his game. I kind of doubt it. Washington is decent against the run and horrible against the pass. I think they're going to try to pass the football. Hence, Wan'Dale Robinson and Malik Neighbors. Let's go on the other side. You got a dynamo. The number 2 pick in the draft in Jane Daniels, and you play him. He's playing at home against a decent Giant defense, but I think he'd be able to run the football like he did effectively the last game. Even though, and I said this, he would have good fantasy numbers. Maybe not win the game against Tampa Bay, but he would have good fantasy numbers, and that's exactly what happened. I think this time they win a game, and he's going to have good fantasy numbers. Okay. You play Brian Robinson Jr. He's the main back. He's the man. Okay. And until I see it, it's not Zach Ertz. It's not Luke McCaffrey. I got to believe Terry McLaurin is going to go off this week. I got to believe he's going to go off. Now, I'm not a big Terry McLaurin fan, but I think because of who he's playing and where they're playing at, I think, and where they've been missing at, meaning Jaden Daniels thrown to Terry McLaurin, they're going to try their best to feed the monster in Terry McLaurin. I really think that. Okay. I think McLaurin is due to go off. All right, people. This is another matchup that's near and dear to my heart. It's the LA Rams at the Arizona Cardinals. Okay. Let's talk about the Rams first. You play Matthew Stafford. This defense, I'm talking about the Arizona, it's not that good, but it's a division game. Against the Arizona Cardinals. You play Matthew Stafford, Kyren Williams, Cooper Kupp, and Demarcus Robinson, not Tyler Johnson. Okay, Demarcus Robinson. Okay. With a little sprinkle of Kobe Parkinson. Don't think so. But the first three I named, you definitely play. On the other side, I think this is going to be a relatively high-scoring game. Kyler Murray. You saw what Detroit did to the Rams. And this is the second road game. Okay? Let's go this route. James Conner. Rams can be run on. I like James Conner in this game. For whatever reason, he may not be on your radar, but he should be. James Conner always gets hurt, and I'm not saying he's going to get hurt in this game. I mean, James Conner always gets nicked up. Okay, during the regular season, and he had a highly touted rookie drafted to be his backup, and that's Trey Benson. So if you have James Conner, and for whatever reason, he shouldn't be, but for whatever reason, he's on your waiver wire, he's probably a free agent now, he's just sitting there, and you have roster space, pick up Trey Benson. And for this offense, pick up Trey Benson. Okay. What is Marvin Harrison Jr. going to do? You play Trey McBride, but you don't know what you have in a rookie yet. Greg Dortch did better than Marvin Harrison Jr., a highly touted first-round pick this past draft. Okay. Let's move on to the Cincinnati Bengals at the Kansas City Chiefs. I can't play Joe Burrow until he proves me something different. I can't play Joe Burrow. I can barely play Jamar Chase. All right. I don't think they always start slow, and Joe Burrow starts slow. I cannot, in good faith, tell you to play Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow. I can't. Not as bad as they played against New England. Come on, man. Really? Against New England? Let me put it this way. They lambasted, okay, and rightfully so, they lambasted, I should say, Deshaun Watson against the Dallas Cowboys, which the Dallas Cowboys is a very good defense. What about Joe Burrow? Joe Burrow didn't play that much better. He didn't play that much better. That whole team didn't play that much better. And they got beat by the New England Patriots, who most people thought would not have a chance against the Bengals. I'm just keeping it real. Okay. You dog Deshaun Watson out, and I'm not making excuses for Deshaun Watson, but you don't dog out Joe Burrow against a inferior New England Patriot team. Come on, man. The truth is the truth. You got to keep it 100. All right, let's move on to the Kansas City Chiefs. I told you, people. I told you. And I know that you don't want to hear that. Okay, you don't want to hear it. No problem. But number one in the Kansas City program is Xavier Worthy. 2 touchdowns. 2 touchdowns. I told you. I've been telling you. From the NFL Combine to up going into the draft, NFL draft, and going into the regular season. X marks the spot. That's Xavier Worthy. Big play waiting to happen. He may not be Tyreek Hill, but he's Tyreek Hill-like. Okay? He's Tyreek Hill-like. They're going to use him like Tyreek Hill. Big plays, splash plays. That's the type of player he is. They used him ways Tyreek Hill was used when he was with the Chiefs. 4.21 speed? Are you kidding me? Of course they're going to use him like that. You play Xavier Worthy. Rashid Weiss seemed like the target king in this offense. And quite naturally, you got to play target Travis Kelce. Didn't do too much the first game, but that's okay. Travis Kelce games will come. Play Harrison Butker. I told you about Justin Tucker as one of the best kickers. This guy just got paid. Harrison Butker is one of the best kickers in the NFL. You play Harrison Butker if you have a kicker in that position. All right, let's talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Denver Broncos. 2-quarterback league, you play Justin Fields. With his running ability and being able to throw the football, they're going to try to run the football. Denver can be run on with Najee Harris. Jalen Warren, he's going to be used, but I don't think he'd get the 50-50 split like in the past. Not in his Arthur Smith offense. You play George Pickens. I like George Pickens and Pat Freiermuth in this. Absolutely. Absolutely. Can't play Bo Nix, not against his defense. Can't play Bo Nix against their defense. I think they're going to try to be conservative. I don't think they're going to go out and try to outscore Pittsburgh and put Bo Nix in harm's way. They're going to run the football. Jaleel McLaughlin and Javonte Williams are a 1-2 punch. I can't tell you to play these guys. You know who I like, but Joey Porter Jr. is going to probably be on them constantly. Cortland Sutton Jr. And don't discount this other guy, Devon Villay. Okay, Devon Villay. You're going to remember that name because he's a somewhat of a rising star in the Denver lineup. Devon Villay. All right, let's move on to the Chicago Bears at the Houston Texans. Under 100 yards passing with Caleb Williams. I'm not a big Caleb Williams fan. Under 100 yards. He's going up in Houston against Houston's defense. I'm not impressed. They won. Their defense helped them win that game, meaning Chicago. The defense helped them win that game. Only player I like on there is DJ Moore. You're going to have to throw to somebody. Keenan Allen and Roma Dunze are dealing with injuries. The only decent healthy wide receiver is DJ Moore. DJ Moore. And more DJ Moore. Okay? On the other side of the ball, he just picked up where he left off last season. C.J. Stroud. Joe Mixon with a huge workload. Nico Collins, the number one. You can see now he's the number one. I like all these guys because I think all these guys are going to feed Tank Dell and Stephon Diggs. Okay? I think either they get into the end zone, other than Nico Collins, Tank Dell, and Stephon Diggs I'm talking about, or they get fed enough that they get double digits and they're good flex options. Okay? They're good flex options. Getting 11 or 12 points, something like that. Either one of them or both of them, other than Nico, gets into the end zone or gets enough targets to be fantasy worthy. All right. Let's move on to the Monday night game. And the last game, well, not least, the Atlanta Falcons, who Kirk Cousins and company need to pick it up, or they're going to start hearing rumblings of Michael Penix. Kirk Cousins playing at home. Now, I mean, on the road on Monday Night Football, which is not his friend. But I got to play Kirk Cousins, okay? He's too good of a player for me to just say sit. 2-quarterback league, not a single quarterback, 2-quarterback league. Bijan Robinson, Drake London, Kyle Pitts, absolutely. Philadelphia can be run on. Philadelphia is better against the run than they are against the pass. On the other side of the ball, Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley, Devontae Smith. Now, A.J. Brown owners. A.J. Brown has come up with a hamstring injury that got reported on Friday. I think he didn't practice on Saturday. It's questionable. Pick up Jahad Dotson. Okay. Pick up Jahad Dotson. You got room on your bench. Pick up Jahad Dotson if you're going to need help in the wide receiver position. Okay. I did that. I definitely did that. So that guards you against, because you want to have a piece of this offense playing at home. You want to have a piece of this offense. And I think Jahad Dotson, if A.J. Brown does not play, is a decent option. All right? Okay. That's all, people. That's all. I have my I have my opinion known, and also gave you my picks for this weekend. Enjoy the games, and I'll talk to you next week in week 3. All right? Peace.